Podcast with James D. Jackson.
Hello and welcome again to the Rip Jersey Podcast. I'm your host, James D. Jackson. And man, we had some fun today with this National League and American League division round getting started. A bunch of things happened. We had a walk-off home run, a near comeback from the defending champs, and a home run that looked like a home run, but didn't actually quite get over. That's a lot to get into today. Let's get right into it.
Here's the first story of the day.
The first story of the day will start with the best game that had the best ending of the day. Yordan Alvarez smashed a 3-run walk-off home run to lift the Astros over the Mariners in Game 1. Another outstanding performance from him. But I think I speak for most of the country, outside of the Houston Astros, obviously. Why did they pitch to Yordan Alvarez? Why did the Mariners go after him? This is a guy that's batting .306, has 37 home runs and 97 RBI this season. He's no doubt their best hitter. So why would you go after this guy? And with those numbers, not only is he the best on their team, he's top 7 in the entirety of baseball. So why go after him? There's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Take your chances with the next guy. They got a base open. Just walk him. Just walk him and take your chances with the next guy. Now, because they didn't, Houston made them pay. And the Mariners lost their big lead that they had built up throughout the entirety of the early innings, and that's just something that you can't do against an experienced team like the Houston Astros. This was experience versus newcomers. The Houston Astros have been this far. They've been here before. You can say what you want about the Mariners and the history of their franchise, but as of right now, they are the newcomers because it's been such a long time, 21 years since they've been here. 2001 was the last time, so they can't afford to make those type of mistakes against this type of opponent. Imagine you get off to a 4-0 run lead against Justin Verlander, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and you don't come out on top of that game. This was Verlander's worst start in the postseason since his rookie season, where he gave up 6 runs in 2006. And the Mariners got him off the mound by the 4th inning. You get that guy off the mound, you have to win that game because your guys are doing great, their guys are struggling, and you have such a big lead, you have to be able to hold on to that, especially as a younger team on the road. You got to be able to, you have to be able to jump on top of that and keep it going. But let's get into the numbers of this game.
Here's By the Numbers.
By the numbers, let's start with Seattle. They had 7 runs on 13 hits. Ty France was 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. Julio Rodriguez followed him for 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. And Juan Cerez was 2 for 4 for 1 RBI and 1 home run. A great game from those 3 guys. Once again, when you have a performance like that, you have to take advantage. You have to get over the hump. And now for the Houston Astros, Yuli Gurriel was 3 for 4 with 1 RBI and 1 home run. Alex Bregman was 1 for 3, 2 RBI and a home run himself. And as you know, Yordan Alvarez, he had the game-winning home run, but he also was 3 for 5 with 5 RBI. And just to have that type of performance out of those guys is great. And the Mariners, Jose Altuve was hitless. So you get Justin Verlander off the mound after 4 innings, and you get Jose Altuve to go hitless in the game. You got to take advantage of that. You got to take advantage of that. But that's just unfortunate for them to be in that situation. But let's get into the second story of the day.
Here's the second story of the day.
The second story of the day is the Phillies take down the Braves 7-6 in Game 1. The Braves being the defending champs. Everybody thought that they would go out in Game 1 and take control of this series because the Phillies are coming off a wild card series, so they don't have their ace going against the Braves in this situation. The Braves are at home. They have their ace. And it's just amazing where they ended up because Castellanos got that diving catch in the bottom of the ninth. But the heart of the lineup is what I want to talk about tonight for the Phillies. You know, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Juan Segura, Nick Castellanos. Those guys today were outstanding for them. They had most of their runs come off of hits with 2 outs on the board. It was just clutch hitting back-to-back from them in those first couple of innings. And they got off to a very good start. And building that early lead, unlike the Mariners from today, they actually were able to hold on to that, even though the Braves made a push in those final innings trying to get, runs on the board. And they got 6, but it wasn't enough. For the numbers for them, Bryce Harper was 3 for 3 with a bunt and an infield hit. One of those crazy things you wouldn't see you don't really expect from that power hitter. Nick Castellanos was 3 for 5 with 3 RBI, and Gene Segura was 2 for 4 with 1 RBI. A great performance out of that trio. Obviously, JT Realmuto, who was a catcher for them, he was great as well for the Phillies today. And the Phillies, who had one of the longest postseason droughts, are moving on up. They got another win. They now have another win, and they're leading in the divisional series against the defending champions. Who would have thought that going into it? Because the Braves came out with Max Fried, and he's been outstanding for them this year as well. And that was one of his worst starts in his career, giving up those runs in that short amount of time. The Braves actually had Matt Olson, who had a 3-run home run in the bottom of the ninth, to try to bring this game back. It was actually really scary until Castellanos got that diving catch that pretty much put the game in the way. This is Bryce Harper's first 3-hit postseason game, so just out another great game from him, and more history being made from the Phillies.
Here's the third story of the day.
The third story of the day is the 3 things I need you to know, and we'll start with some news from baseball and some scores from what happened today.
Number 3.
Number 3, Joe Musgrove pitched a gem to advance the Padres into the division series. We didn't get to talk about this on the show last time. Joe Musgrove against the Mets, allowing just 1 hit in a division-clinching game. And he was pitching so well. His numbers were up. Everything looked different from the regular season. The Mets actually thought he was cheating. And a lot of people on social media thought he was cheating based on just some look like some substance on his ear or his fingers. I'm not sure where it was. I don't get into all of that. But they thought he was cheating because he was pitching so well. I think it was just a lot of adrenaline and Joe Musgrove being great in the postseason. And the Padres are now taking on the Dodgers as we speak. In that game, the Dodgers are up 5-3 in the top of the 5th. And actually, good news for the Padres because they were down a couple runs before. Now they're making a push in the 5th inning, so that's great for them. But let's get into the second story of the day.
Number 2.
The Phillies' David Robertson strained his right calf celebrating Bryce Harper's home run in the wild card. And this is one of those crazy stories because you have a professional athlete, guys they're the top notch of human beings, and he hurt himself celebrating a home run that he didn't even hit. And that's just a crazy thing. Can you imagine? And that's their right-hand reliever. So now the Phillies are going to be down some pitching, and that's not what you want to hear as they go against the Atlanta Braves. Unfortunately, he won't be able to pitch for the Phillies in this round, so we won't see him again unless they make it past the Braves. But that is one of those crazy things, one of those freak injuries one of the most freakiest injuries I've seen.
Number 1.
The Yankees took down the Guardians 4-1, and that game just wrapped up before this show started. Garrett Cole went 7 innings. He was great for them, and Anthony Rizzo had one of those monster home runs that pretty much put this game away. It was one of those daggers, as you would see in basketball. It was a dagger for baseball, and that was monstrous. They saw a lot of cutters today. The Yankees don't hit the cutters very well, but they did today, especially with Anthony Rizzo. And I want to talk about Josh Donaldson's. He hit a ball that hit the corner of the wall, the top corner of the wall. It looked like it was a home run just on the broadcast, and he thought it was as well. And he was jogging around the bases. And Oscar Gonzalez, who had that game-winning hit in the wild card series, Oscar Gonzalez played the ball very well off the hop of the wall and threw out. Well, he didn't necessarily throw him out. He threw it to second, and the second baseman threw out Donaldson to stop the momentum and stop one of the craziest hits. It looked like a home run, but it really wasn't. And that's one of those crazy deals. The Yankees were able to overcome this with Rizzo's home run that came later on in the game. So that series is now 1-0 towards the Yankees. A lot of great games today. A lot of great games. A jam-packed day of games that you couldn't ask for a better first game for a baseball fans. But that's all I have for you today. I am James D. Jackson. This has been the Rip Jersey Podcast, and we appreciate you for sticking around. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I have a podcast called Rip Jersey. Follow that, add it to your playlist. Listen to it wherever you can. Thanks for watching again.